Good morning. Today we are on the Ward Lake Trail. This is actually the connecting trail at what we call the frog ponds. And just a few weeks ago, the frogs were so loud here, I probably would be able to barely talk. And we're just going to take you along this trail. It's got a lot of beautiful old growth trees. So anyway, follow along. I am going to do an acrylic gouache sketch this morning. That is a medium that has vexed me somewhat, but I've been watching a lot of tutorials. It's been hard to find acrylic gouache tutorials online, so I've been watching just regular gouache tutorials. I think the medium acts somewhere between actual acrylics and gouache. Makes sense, obviously, but I haven't really painted with gouache ever, just traditional gouache. So it's been a learning process for me. I have painted and sketched here at Ward Lake a lot, so at least the scene is fairly familiar to me. So maybe that'll help. I am very grateful for this weather this morning. It's sunny and not very cold. I know it's mid-July, but it's been in the low 50s here every day. Later this afternoon, we have a storm coming in that's supposed to last through tomorrow. It's supposed to be heavy rain with 40-mile-an-hour winds. So that's the downside of living in a rainforest. The upside is that unlike my daughter who's living in Arizona, we don't have 100-degree temperatures. I think it was 107 where she lives the other day. So that is really nice to not have to deal with, but we do have to deal with a lot of bad weather, even in the middle of summer. We haven't gotten temperatures much over the mid-60s yet. So here we go down the trail. I will show you all of the most amazing spots here. And while I have you here, if you'd like to see more of my art, check out my website at danellekelly.art. And I have been doing these art vlog videos every week, so you can check out those. And if you would like to be part of this community I'm building, that would be awesome. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, share these with your friends, you know, all the YouTube stuff. All right, here we go. Here is Signal Creek. It pours into Ward Lake. It's a very beautiful little creek, and in August and September it will be full of spawning salmon, which is charming, but they die as soon as they spawn, and it creates a terrific smell that my dogs like to roll in, so I tend to avoid this trail when the salmon are spawning. There's a very large Sitka spruce tree. It's got a lot of old man's beard lichen on it. We get a lot of that lichen. It's a good sign that our air is clean. The lichen actually produces nitrogen that goes into the soil and the water, helps things grow. It can be eaten. In the winter, it's an important food source for the deer. And lichen is it's actually a combination of a fungus that farms a cyanobacteria or a green algae, and the green algae provides food for the fungus through photosynthesis, and when they form lichen, there actually has a benefit to both species, as then it's able to thrive in a more wide variety of environments. So there are like 1,000 species of lichen in Southeast Alaska, according to the U.S. Forest Service books that I've been reading. Here's an old rotted down tree, possibly a hemlock, judging by the little bit of bark left on there. On this dead tree, you can see the bear bread fungus that goes up there. You can see how white the underneath of those is. That's why artists are often attracted to harvesting those, and then they'll paint little scenes on them, which is kind of cool. I've never tried it. It might be kind of fun. I think people usually use acrylic for that. You can actually make marks just by scratching it, so some people will just take like a sharp pen nib and do like a little etching on them. And here, there's some pretty amazing trees here. I call these octopus trees, where a young tree will grow on top of an old stump, and as the stump rots down, the roots of the tree go down and grow bigger and bigger, and eventually this will be empty in here when the old stump rots out, and it will make a root cave. And those are pretty cool. The bears will actually use those to hibernate in here. We just have black bears in this area. There are some brown bears. Alaska has brown bears, which are like a little bit larger version of a grizzly bear. But in Ketchikan, the area of Ketchikan, on this part of the island, we just see black bears. We're coming up on the outlet of Ward Lake. This is Ward Creek. This empties into our saltwater cove, we call Ward Cove. And that now is a cruise ship port. You can take 2 cruise ships at a time. It was built in cooperation between a private company and Norwegian Cruise Lines, and opened in 2020 just in time for COVID to hit and cruise ships to be completely unable to visit our town. So that was bad for them, but boy are they busy now. It has it's quite a ways north, quite a few miles north from town where our main ports are. Downtown we have 4 cruise ship berths, so we can get 4 big ships downtown, and one can anchor out, and then there can be a couple at Ward Cove. There'll probably be 6 or 7 ships today. Thursdays and Fridays are our busiest days, but this trail, no tours allowed, no commercial tours allowed, but I have seen a few tourists here who just rented a car and came out to see this trail, which I think is awesome because this is truly one of our most beautiful trails. It's the most popular one with the locals, and there's an amazing variety of birds here, beautiful trees. Here's an example of a root cave that I was talking about earlier. See how that goes right through. This, of course, would not be a cozy den for a bear, but this huge stump has many trees growing on it and thriving. And there, you can just see the main beach. There we go. You can see the little shelters. That's where we're headed. That's where I like to sit to paint. Merganser duck that just landed down there. This is a pretty cool old tree. It's all twisted. It was our huge red cedar. I have a Steller's jay yelling at me over here. But this is a really cool example of how the old cedar trees grow and die really slowly, and they have some of these really beautiful sculptural shapes. Excuse me, Steller's jay. Last night I made myself this little carrier box out of a cardboard box so I can tape in my watercolor paintings or my gouache paintings, as I find that they don't fully dry often in our wet climate, and then the paint gets kind of rubbed off on the way home. So this is the little thing that I brought. I'm not sure how well the tape is going to re-adhere after taking it off so I can paint on my little pencil box, but we'll see. And here is my little Stay Wet palette that I made myself. These are little bead storage boxes that I bought at Walmart that I have my gouache paints in. Today I have a new brand. I have Holbein Acrylic Gouache. Have my little paper towel for the inevitable messes I'm going to make. And then here I put a wet paper towel with a piece of parchment paper over it. I've used that before with these acrylic gouache paints, and it's worked pretty well. That's my system so far. It's very, very portable. So let's get some paint on here. Today my focus is going to be being very mindful. I've found I get these gouache paints muddy really quickly with careless mixing, so my goal today is to do very simple, clear, clean colors, clean brush strokes, try to simplify as much as possible. We'll see how that goes. Let's get started. I've been wanting to paint that tree for a while. It's really interesting looking. This is an area where there's a lot of beavers, and one day when we were here, I saw 2 otters perched right up there. They sort of almost stacked on top of each other, just watching us. It was the most cute thing. I have a friend who is a biologist, and in this little pool where people throw, I don't know if you can see them in the camera, people will throw pennies and that make wishes, kind of call this the little wishing well. It's just sort of a slough. She took photos of some lampreys that were in here. So every day I look for lampreys. I didn't know that we even had them here. Here's a good example of a Sitka spruce. It's quite large. Here's an interesting example of a tree cave. Can't even really see the original stump anymore, but there's just a tangle of trees, and then this tree, its root possibly curved around here, and then one root came down here almost like a tripod. Hope you enjoyed this hike and paint journey this morning at beautiful Ward Lake. Look at this amazing tree. It is crazy. It's like a sculpture. It's hardly even real. Anyway, hey, if you have any advice on using acrylic gouache, I would love to hear it. I tried to do a little better job with using clean, clear colors this morning. I think I went back to my normal habit of getting a little too fussy. I don't love the way they dry, looking a little bit chalky, but maybe that's just the way that I'm using them. So if you have any ideas on how to better use them, I'd love to hear it. I will try any things. I just brought 3 entire sets of acrylic gouache. I guess I can't resist the challenge. So anyway, I'd love to hear any tips that you have and any input. Thanks for watching. Stay creative and have fun.